Here we go. We're live. Happy Friday, everyone. Brad Modrich here from Trifecta Credit Solutions. Joining me, as always, on Financial Fitness Friday, my good friend Jonathan Federa. Here we go from Integrated Business Financing. What's up, big guy? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Good. I know we had some technical difficulties this morning, but one thing that we always will is we will deliver. We say we're going to be here on Friday. Understand that Jonathan and I are two men that will do what we say we're going to do. That being said, let me just kind of give you, for those of you that are just joining us, we started Financial Fitness Friday. Obviously, Jonathan and I, if you don't know, we both have a passion for our physical fitness. And we started, we connected over time, and we wanted to put something together to get you financially fit, proverbially speaking. And we came up with Financial Fitness Friday. We talk about credit, we talk about financing, we talk about investments, we talk a lot about a lot of different things from the financial standpoint. Could talk about business, could talk about personal. We're going to cover everything. But just so you know, it's going to come from the heart. It's going to be raw, and it's going to be the stuff that in most cases you are not seeing in the textbook guideline. So today, we're going to kind of dip into, because I deal with personal credit, and that's what Trifecta Credit Solutions does. And Jonathan, obviously, he is a force to be reckoned with in the business field, in terms of business financing. And when we talked about what we wanted to talk about today was the simple things that you should be doing when you are thinking about wanting to start a business. And I thought this was great because we both have a lot of people in our network that own businesses, but we also have a lot of people that are entrepreneurs that are looking to make their way into the business world. And today's call, this is for you guys. So what do you got there, big guy?
Well, I see a lot of people not starting businesses the right way, starting at a disadvantage, right? So I just want to go over a lot of this. For someone that's owned and operated close to like 9 businesses now, probably in all different verticals. So obviously, business financing is my main thing. I own 2 gyms. I have real estate companies. It's very important to get the setup right. And first, right off the bat, when you're starting a business, there's certain things that you should be doing prior to even getting in the game, right? So first, you want to have your personal expenses, you want to have your personal savings at least good for 6 months, which you should have anyway. You should also have 6 months at least of business expenses stored away. Now, two of the biggest things I see that are problematic is when people start a business, they're starting it from scratch, and all they're doing is essentially just leaving their job and moving over. Well, the problem is sometimes you don't really start. Business isn't always smooth. There's always an obstacle in the way. So when you're doing this, first, make sure you have 6 months of business expenses, 6 months of personal expenses. I'm saying ideally, right? And don't start a business if you don't have good credit, because you're starting at a big disadvantage. Because if you need financing and you have crappy credit and your income isn't coming in the way you thought it would be, that's problematic. So make sure when you start a business, your credit is as high as possible. Next, start well capitalized. You could always take a term loan. We help people start up all the time with term loans or SBA loans if it's a franchise. So you want to start well capitalized and with good credit. Next, that doesn't mean you have to quit your job to start a business. There's a lot of things that go into a business that you don't have to walk away from a good job to do. So when you really down, you need to set up the entity, right? You got to make sure it's correct. You got to get you should start a business credit day one. You need to get a website up.
Jonathan,
you need to have,
you're breaking up. Guys, this is live. So just so you know, this is we are doing this live. It's a little choppy on your end.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
So
I just want to piggyback on what you just said. So a lot of times when and just until you get that quick fix, what Jonathan was saying, I know it was a little vibrated. Um, so many times we see people when they want to start a business, they have this idea, and all of a sudden the first thing that they always want to do is they want to get an LLC. Let me get my LLC and let me be a business owner, right? But again, I hate to sound like an Instagram cliche. Without a plan, you're gonna truly plan to fail, right? And what the first big part where, and Jonathan deals with this on a daily basis. He deals with businesses that get hit because of lack of funding, lack of financing. So what Jonathan was saying was you should have in reserves some money for your personal bills, so you're not pulling your hair out, not being able to pay your mortgage. And you should have some working, they call it working capital, so the business isn't going to be stressed and you don't feel like you got an axe over your throat trying to get the sales or trying to drive the revenue so you could be in flow state. It gives you a little bit of a cushion when you have both of those wells, so to speak, filled, right?
Absolutely. So then next, I think it's important, establish your business credit. That's going to help you and serve you in the long run. Get the website up, have your core values there, set up a process for hiring. Like Brad, you just touched on a plan. I can't tell you how many people start a business without a plan. Have a plan, have a marketing plan, have all of that stuff in place, right? Have everything set up the right way. And then once everything's operating, okay, at a just a basic level, then if you want to make that jump, you can make that jump. But without having marketing set up, without having processes set up, without having everything tucked away the right way, you're basically jumping off a cliff and trying to build a plane on the way down. Which, hey, running a business is like that no matter what, but at least have some of the plane assembled before you make the jump.
Right. So important. And just you know, and you got to remember, Jonathan and I both have built businesses with our own hands, right? So number one, what I always like to say, I'm a whiteboarder. You know, those of you that don't know, I got whiteboards all over my office. Obviously there's a whiteboard right behind Jonathan. Sometimes you just got to get what's in here on the board, but there's a couple things just to kind of break this down. You should have your sales game plan, right? In your sales game plan, obviously there's going to be an arm for the marketing. Like, how are you going to drive revenue? How are you going to get your offer to public? Then you got to have a whole other column for operations, right? How are you going to operate? And I mean, my wife and I did this with the spa. I mean, even down to the details of who's shutting the lights off at night, right? Like, have a game plan. Who's taking the garbage out on Sunday, right? Every little thing, because again, the more prepared you are going into this, right? I promise you, I'm speaking from experience, and I've made a gazillion mistakes in the beginning of both of our businesses. Getting ready for a third one. I've made a million mistakes. I know Jonathan has. And then you also want to get like your financial, almost like your financial arm. Like, how are you going to pay this? What are the systems? What are the process? Like, get that all on a whiteboard, right? And talk it out loud. I can't even begin to tell you the power of just speaking things out. Okay, how is this going to go? How is that going to go? What bank account is it going to go into? How am I going to pay this bill? And you start putting these pieces of the puzzle together. When you get ready to launch, I can promise you, and I've done this with, I did this with our good buddy, Eric Hines. Eric Hines is in Arte with us. He's getting ready to open his gym. I've done this with multiple people, and I hate even saying coaching because I'm not a coach. I'm just helping people put their plan together. And every single person who ran the play, by getting their thoughts on paper, having a game plan, and then putting a timeline to the game plan, having strategic times when things are going to be set, when you're going to implement them. We did it with Trifecta. We did it with this business. And we're on year 2, and everything has just been going up and up and up and up and up. We did it with the spa, up and up and up and up, because the foundation of the business was set up properly.
Absolutely. And the other thing, guys, is this. If you're going to take on partners, have clearly defined roles and understand what they bring to the table and what their responsibilities are. Don't ever bring somebody to the table just for money. It's not worth it, I promise you. Next, as you guys are doing this, have your plan broken down, right? And reverse engineer what you're trying to get at. And then after you reverse engineer it, break it down into quarters and then by month. And then you have to review that every single month and quarter. And what you want to do is make these little adjustments along the way so that you are in the best shape possible.
Yeah. Again, it's having that game plan. Now, what are some things a lot of people some basic stuff, right? We talked about last week about common sense, right? We talked about common sense. We talked about some basic things that a lot of people don't even understand. Number one, get an LLC.
Yep.
Right?
After you have that and the federal tax ID, establish your business credit.
Establish your business credit. Now, what does that mean, establish your business credit? Because a lot of people know, we talked on personal a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What is business credit? Like, how would someone, like, I just even learned, 2 years ago about what the DUNS number is.
Yeah. So the same way you have Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, you have that for your business. Okay. It's usually Dun and Bradstreet, Experian, and basically you're going to generate what's called a PAYDEX score. All right. And all this is the basic setup, the basic premises is you get your EIN, you register with Dun and Bradstreet. You do not have to pay them for your Dun and Bradstreet number. Okay. Don't pay them. Don't tell them to build it for you. And then what you're going to do is you are going to make sure, one, everything matches. The 5 basic things that you need to do to set up your business credit. Have a business email. Okay. It can't be at Gmail or at Yahoo or anything like that. It's Brad at Trifecta Credit Solutions, okay? Then you need a business phone number, not a Google phone number, a business phone number that lists the business, okay? Next, you need a business address, okay? Finally, then you need a business website with all that information on it. And by the way, all that information needs to match everywhere it's posted online. And then finally, and the most basic of things that people always mess up, you need a business bank account. All right. And then you're going to want to set up or have a way to accept credit cards for 90% of the businesses out there. Don't go to your bank. Don't go to Square, Stripe, or PayPal. If you need help, I'm happy to help you set it up. There's much better solutions. Sorry for the shameless plug there, Brad. Brad can attest. Right?
I dealt with some issues with Square, like they were borderline robbing us.
Yes, Brad can attest. And usually you want to have good software that works for your business for you to accept payments. Okay. That's just the basics, guys. All right. Once you guys set that up, you start implementing your plan, you're going to be in a better position and you're not going to feel like you're constantly running around putting out fires. Okay.
I always get this question, and maybe you could help answer it. Should I use like LegalZoom or one of these companies, corp.net? Like I know when we did that Amazon gig last year with that company, that I'll leave them out of it. They use corp.net and they literally debauched everything. They debauched our EIN. What do you feel? Because I know how easy it is to start an LLC and to get the EIN.
I just have my accountant do it.
Okay.
This way, everything's filed with him. It makes it easier. If you don't have an accountant, you're going to get one right away because that's important. The other thing is, and we didn't touch on this, I can't believe we missed it, but you have to have some way to keep your books, right? Because if you can't measure what's going on, you can't improve it. You're flying blind. So I use QuickBooks. There's a bunch of different softwares out there. You can hire a bookkeeper. It's really not that challenging once you actually dig into it and get used to using it.
Yeah. Don't manage the success of your business by your bank account. We did this hard, bad for like first 2 years of operating just aesthetic nursing. Like it was bad. Like we would just see, and we were just like, hey man, the bank account keeps filling up. but we didn't have a grasp on our spending, on how much we were putting out for just everything. We didn't know what payroll costs were. And the beginning of last year, I did exactly what you said. I took on QuickBooks hand in hand. And it was hard. It was hard for me because it was a language I didn't understand.
Yep.
One real thing quick. You talked about getting a bank account, and again, common sense to us, but a lot of people don't know. To get a business bank account, you're going to need two things. You're going to need the certificate of origin for your LLC from your state. That's number one. And you're going to need a federal EIN number, which is pretty much your business's social security number. You get it on irs.gov. Those are two things that you need to go into the bank, along with your personal identification and all that other good jazz. You're going to need those two things before you could set up a bank account.
Absolutely.
These are just some of the basics, right? I hope this helped. Jonathan, as always, we're just dropping nuggets. If any of you have questions out there, again, contact myself, Brad Moderich at Trifecta Credit Solutions, or Jonathan Federa at integratedbusinessfinancing.com. Till this day, it's fucking tongue twister for me, bro.
Guys, we'll come back with a longer show next week. I apologize. This is on me. We definitely had technical difficulties. It was my fault. So we'll finish this up next week because I think this is so important. And I'll tell you, the cool thing about owning a business is you are in control. And not only are you in control, you are making a bigger impact in the community. You're providing a great place for people to work. All right. And really, that's what it's all about, being an entrepreneur. I could never go work for somebody ever again.
Ever.
I'm unemployed.
Yeah. I'm unemployable. Absolutely. And this is what America needs. We need entrepreneurs taking action right now. For this thing right here to keep this freaking flag waving, it's up to you.
Let's grow.
Let's grow. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next Friday. Financial Fitness Friday. We're out. See ya.
Bye.